listen to the music, feel the music, and I'm going to trust you. Shoot it the way you feel it. And I'll just call a number.
Nuance, though.
There is nuance, but that's what it is. It's art, right?
Yeah.
So allow people to dance with you. You know, I like it to be a dance. I'm not going to dictate. I want to be a director. I want to be a selector. I just want to select pretty shots. The music, I hear this, I see this. That's beautiful. Put it there. You know, I shouldn't have to tell you where to be all the time as a camera operator. You should kind of feel it. You should see that person's there. I should be here. It's a dance.
It's a dance.
It's a dance.
Welcome to the Gigs Podcast, live from Lititz. I'm your host, Nikki Sands, and we are filming on campus in Rock Lititz at the conference. So we get to sit down with the very best in the touring and live event industry. So let's get into it. Now we have Nicholas Weldon, aka nicDUB, a legacy roadie with over 2 decades of experience as a live video director for artists like Pink, Kings of Leon, Pierce, The Veil, Ricky Martin, Tina Turner, Rihanna, Bruno Mars, Cirque du Soleil, Google, Avril Lavigne, and many, many more. Wow. I'm so honored to have you on. I'm really glad to meet you. And I'm glad this is our first conversation. This is kind of my favorite thing too.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So let's just go back to the beginning. What originally got you into this world?
My father.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my dad is a production manager. My first memories of anything really is concerts. I remember my first concert. I was 3 years old. It was MTV Live Tour with CNC Music Factory, Milli Vanilli, and Paula Abdul.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, there's a longer story to that. Maybe too much information for this podcast.
Dang it. Okay.
But yeah, very early, very fond, very just pivotal moments and memories there. Yeah, I got my first gig injury at 5, hopping into a case to pull out some XLRs for my dad in the lid coming down and crushing my arm. So, you know, we've all been there, having a case lid slam on us at one point in time.
Yeah, you said you were 5 though?
I was 5.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Yeah,
so it's all I've known. It's all I've known. But because it's all I've known, I've been able to see all aspects of it. From audio to video, lighting, production. You know, growing up in the MTV generation, I wanted to make music videos. And so that's where I steered my career. I wanted to learn video and, you know, hop on a crew as soon as I could to just, you know, shoot big pop stars and eventually be a director.
Wow. Why do you think you were drawn to videos?
No, like I said, that generation, you know, always watching music on MTV and, that was how I consumed my music more so than actually, you know, buying a CD or anything like that. I was watching MTV and seeing the videos. So a visual aspect always was a part of the music aspect for me, while my dad was always on the production side. Yeah. For me, it was always that visual component that really stood out. And
so what age were you like, all right, let's do this thing?
Officially, as a career, I would say 19 years old. When I decided I wanted to be a director, I was 11. I grabbed my dad's camcorder and started bossing all my cousins around and creating little, you know, dance videos and music videos, choreographing what we could then. But over time, you know, you tried different avenues, different things. And it was really when I was about 19 years old, you know, in college, not sure where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, but I knew, you know, went and visit my dad on a show. It was Cher at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, saw all the visuals and everything about that show was so impactful. And I was at the very back seat. So I felt connected to it from the back seat. I said, that's what I want to do. I want everyone to feel connected to the music. I want to bring joy to that person in the very back seat. So
wow. What a powerful memory there.
Yeah. So Dad put me in.
Put me in. So what was that first gig?
It was Cher. It was like, okay, well, that tour ended up being about a 3-year tour. So I got in on the very tail end of it. I had that realization. And 2 years later, he finally brought me out. It was just an internship. Okay. Just to see if I would be made out for the road. And pretty much had me on every crew, from lighting to video, just doing everything and helping out everyone. And I told him, I said, look, I told you I wanted to do video. You know, like I already made up my mind. So let's just stick with that. But he really had to just, you know, test me and make sure that this was what I really wanted to do. The bug bit me and, you know, I never turned back.
Did you ever have a doubt that it might not be for you? Or were you always like, damn it, yeah, I love that?
No, from the moment I got in it, I loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was always something that I was intrigued about. When I visited my dad on the road, always wanted to be a part of it however I could. So even when I had summers off from school, I would try to come out there and help them.
So you're interning, realizing, yep, this is it. You're doing a bunch of different things. Finally get into video after that. Do you do video for Cher?
Yeah. So there was, after about the last month of the tour, they said, okay, we'll hire you on as an assistant. And I was only getting paid $100 a day. Love it. But in 2005, which is pennies, but it was the most money I had ever made.
Right.
It was more than I was making at Lowe's. So it was very much a great experience. I took it on. And then from there, I went home. My dad said, you now know what this is. You know where my itineraries are in the file cabinet. All the vendors are in there. Start writing people and see who's willing to hire you. Wow. So I just created not even a resume, just a little cover letter to send out to as many people, and emailed every video vendor that I could find in those books.
Genius.
2 of them bit, and then it was like, all right, well, which way do I go? I asked my dad. He said, go with Bob Brigham and Nocturne. They are great people. Wow. Smaller company, but they have huge clients, and they're more personnel based. They have just the best crews. So if you want, be around good people, go with them. So that was my first foray, and I was with them for 10 years before I decided to go freelance.
Got it. Okay. So staying on that vendor side, we were just doing a panel talking about why people choose different jobs. What are they looking for as a professional? And the big leader wasn't pay, it was the crew and how you're being treated, the communication and the leadership style. So it's really cool to hear, like, from Malcolm, like, go people always first. So you said 10 years here with Nocturne then? Yeah,
10 years with Nocturne, great company, but I wanted to grow. Yeah. I wanted more opportunity. And sometimes when you've only been in one place, they only see you with one direction. Yeah. You have to step out before they can really value you and see you for something else. And so I decided to do that, made a leap and took a chance on myself just as a carpenter. Okay. And that's when I did the Cirque du Soleil tour as a carpenter. It was a lot heavier and harder work, and I was dealing with props. Yeah. It was also Cirque's very first foray into arena touring. Whoa. So they were used to being set up in their own tents and having their own styles. And now we're doing faster turnovers and loading in their trucks, and a lot of their set and their pieces were very heavy. They weren't made to tour, really. It put a wear on my body and opened me up to a whole new aspect of that life, of tour life. And from then, my drive never diminished. I was like, I can do anything. Yeah. If I can just put myself in a foreign position and just do well there, I can do anything. So yeah, that's when I decided maybe I can start directing.
So, okay. So when you were with Nocturne, were you camera op, video tech?
Yeah, video tech, primarily a camera op, then I learned projection.
Okay. Can you talk about what the difference in each job is?
Yeah. So within video, there are so many different layers to it. So as a camera operator, I was very, very good as a handheld operator. Running and gunning on the stage or in the pit, getting all those low and beautiful artsy shots, and also on a long lens as well. But it's a little bit tougher on your body as a handheld operator.
It's more creative.
And it's more creative. So I made my bread and butter that way. Cool. I made a name for myself as a handheld operator. Projection was always something fun, but then it started taking a backseat to LED, and the shows are getting bigger and brighter, and everyone's staring at their phones. So as technology is changing, so is our industry, and video became ever present in everything, where it used to only be the big tours had video. Now everyone had video. Yeah. So the budgets were varying, and the shows were getting bigger and brighter, and you had to learn LED. So
what's the difference between projecting and
projection is just softer. You're throwing you have one projector that's shooting out a beam of light, or maybe you have multiple projectors. You need to converge all those beams of light. So now, that takes a lot more time. Now with software, you can kind of line them up a lot quicker. Just hit the certain pinpoints, and then they'll align themselves. But back in the day, you had to know how to warp your projector and manually get the lenses to line up so that the image showed clearly as one bright image. Yeah. So like I said, as the shows got brighter and bigger and people wanted to see more clarity, we had to implement more LED walls instead of projection.
Can I ask a stupid question?
No,
Because I don't.
there is no stupid question.
Okay, great. And I'm good at asking the stupid questions. Okay, when I saw a show recently that they were using projector for all video, and it was an arena show. I was shocked by it. No LED. And it was lagging. Is that common for a lagging in projection versus LED is like?
I would say that was just a signaling issue, unfortunately.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And a timing issue. When they're doing projection, they are running a lot of layers on top of it. They're manipulating the images and doing all these other things. That's going to have different processing power. So no, it's not going to be in real time. You need to trick the eye. There's different tools that you can use to kind of speed it up and cut those times out. But it is a balancing act, and those are things that should be timed also with the sound department. But that's everyone working together.
Interesting. Okay. That's a side note.
Yep.
So getting more into LED. And so when you say that, like, what is that job?
Slinging tiles, building these big erector sets that are filled with LED panels and cabling, and learning how to know pixels, just pixels and pixels and pixels, and lots of software. So that was a rewarding part of the industry because it was just getting bigger and faster, and you could get a job doing it. And it's great pay as well, but it's also very taxing on your body. I had a hernia from lifting LED walls.
Wow.
So I had to get a surgery for that, and that just put you out for a couple of months, and then you're back to lifting again and hoping you're not going to, but luckily the walls are getting lighter now.
Ooh. Okay.
So as technology moves on, the walls are getting lighter. Luckily, like I had friends that trusted me as I, learned more. They're like, well, I want you to be my crew chief.
Yeah.
And then from being a crew chief, they're like, well, I have this one job that I was directing, but I got offered another gig. And that's when I got my first directing job.
Who was it with?
It was with Ricky Martin.
Okay.
At least my first official directing job. Because a lot of times in video, you get to direct the openers. And that's how I kind of cut my teeth was,
Smart.
Hopping on the board, cutting the openers with Cher. It was with the Village People.
Yo.
With Rihanna. It was cutting Kesha, at the start of her career. So it was just all little fun little things you get to do to, get your chops up. And my friend Omar, he got offered to do Katy Perry and couldn't stick around with Ricky Martin at that time. So said, okay, I would love to hop in the seat for you. And luckily I toured with them before, so I knew all the music. So it was a fun show to cut. But it was also challenging because I was brought in as a director without a crew, and I didn't get to bring my crew. I was going to Spain and having a Spanish crew, all Spanish speaking crew. So my first time directing, I'm speaking to everyone. At least I know my numbers.
Your numbers? Oh my gosh.
So it made it very easy. And you kind of just have a good camera meeting before.
Yeah.
Set them up as, these are your zones. These are your musicians that I want you to cover.
Yeah.
Listen to the music, feel the music, and I'm going to trust you. Shoot it the way you feel it. And I'll just call a number.
Nuance, though.
There is nuance, but that's what it is. It's art, right?
Yeah.
So allow people to dance with you. I like it to be a dance. I'm not going to dictate. I want to be a director. I want to be a selector. I just want to select pretty shots. The music, I hear this, I see this. That's beautiful. Put it there. I shouldn't have to tell you where to be all the time as a camera operator. You should kind of feel it. You should see that person's there. I should be here. It's a dance.
It's a dance.
It's a dance.
I don't want to be an operator. I want to be a director. I want to be a selector.
Not a director. I want to be a selector.
Did you, I guess then as you kept maturing into your director seat, become more of the hey, I want you to do this, and give your creative input?
Well, I give them creative input leading out.
Cool.
Because I let them know what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So every show has a different feel to it. I'm not going to direct Pink the same way I'm going to direct Pierce the Veil.
Yeah.
They're going to be completely different. We have all this choreography and storytelling within the Pink show. And Pierce the Veil is organized chaos. They're just running around. Although they run around almost the exact same way. So I can kind of predict where they're going to be, but it looks chaotic. So you want to shoot a different way. You want to invoke a different emotion. So yeah, you have to have a forethought when coming into it. I like to let the guys know, like, all right, here's what we're doing. with pink, it's like no Dutch angles, no weird angle shots. Keep everything head on so I can cut to it and it looks more, like television, more cinematic. We're going to tell a bit more of the story. So guys get a little tighter on little details, little high fives, little handshakes. We're going to know it's choreographed. So we know what's going to happen when they bounce the ball, when they smack each other. Anticipate it so I can get there. I shouldn't have to tell you. If I have to think about all those moments, we're not going to get there.
Right.
So we have a plan initially. Have the guys be in their zones. And a lot of times that's all I'm doing before the song is, all right, this is a song. I need you here. I need you there. Cover this person. Remember that part. Remember that part. Now we're into it. And now I'm just, now we're just doing our dance.
So when I was out on the road for the first time, I was so in love with the video world. Like I loved it. I got to go out and film a couple and just so ScreenWorks took a chance and let me do, I'm very grateful to them, let me do Bonnaroo and doing working cameras. I just was obsessed with handheld and long lens. I loved it. But I am a very short, small woman that's it was heavy as hell, man.
Absolutely.
And I realized after that, it wasn't for me. But the creative side, so I say that to lead up because it itched that creative bone for me that I just loved. What do you see? What do you look for in camera operators that you want to work with just because they are dancing with it? They just get it.
For me, it is that they're hunting. When you have a camera operator behind that lens, you can tell who's really enthused and wants to be because they're constantly hunting and they're constantly trying to give you shots. You can see they're going from one thing to the next shot, and they want to see that tally light. We call them tally whores. Like we're like, oh, hungry for it. Give me that tally light. And so, if I see someone who's like that, I want to develop them and I want them to be enthused and I want to, use them more. If I see someone who isn't, I'm going to have to encourage them. And, so that'll be probably the person you'll hear me talk to over cans more, as the person who's not enthused. If you're enthused, I'm going to just let you go. If you're not enthused, I'm probably going to be hyping you up a little bit more. I'm more of a hype man than a berater. If I see you're unenthused, I will try to call you more, get that tally light on you to make you jump back into the game. And then once I find something good, I'm like, good job. Fucking love that. To keep them and make them want to get that tally more. Because a lot of times people are just going to go through the motions. It's a long ass day. You built all this shit. You don't want to be sitting in the middle of the show. Right. Yes. So, it's about keeping people engaged. And so a lot of times that's been my thing is like, all right, I'm not going to talk much to the people that I know what they're doing. I'm going to talk more so coach the people that need to stay involved and need that encouragement. And like, all right, lovely, great shot. Or all right, I love that. Now take it from them to there. That's where you need to kind of guide and direct a little bit more when it's the people that don't have it in them themselves.
It's immediate feedback.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, well, if my light's on, I'm doing a great job. I'm going to do more of this.
Doing more of it.
Likes that.
He likes it. And so a lot of times if it's hard to get them that light, because they're not very enthused and you're not going to want to take it. So I have to be conscious of like, I know, get that person back in the game.
Get them in it.
Get them encouraged.
That's
other than the other directors I've had that are like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Get in the game. And that happens often. They're just very, very blunt, very direct because it's live. And excuse my language, guys. I don't know.
Oh, I love it. No, yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, it's one of those, it's going to be, it's live. So you're very direct. It's all moving fast. But you can't dwell on anything. For me, it's because it's live. You have to just keep going. And if you start dwelling or you start berating people, it's going to bring the whole morale down. It's going to, affect everything. It's going to make a ripple effect. So just keep everybody lifted up, keep everybody in the game.
How many angles and shots are you looking at one time for a big show?
On a big show, the biggest I've had was 14 cameras.
Bro.
That's the biggest I had to pay attention to. I've seen guys that had to pay attention to 28 cameras. I don't know how that happens, but the most I've had to do was 14. And
how many screens is that in front of you?
Just two screens, but multi-view.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have usually about 8 and 8 broken down with a couple of preview or what's going on in the graphics there. So like I said, it's a dance and you have to choreograph it. You have to let people know where they need to be, know who they need to cover. Sometimes it's like a game. Sometimes it's man coverage. Sometimes it's zone coverage. Like I need you just to cover stage right side of the staging. I need you to cover the center. And if they crisscrossing, just let them crisscross. Whoever's in your side, that's who you pick up now. That's zone coverage. Cool. Sometimes it's man coverage. Stick with your man. Don't move off your man. I got that other person somewhere else. I'm working this angle out, so just stick with your man. There's a lot of nuances to it, but at the same time, it's just trusting your people, having a vision.
You are performing, and everyone who's filming is also performing.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to get comfortable with, and it becomes second nature for the transitions?
I feel like it's always been a natural thing for me because it's music. I love it.
Yeah.
And I have rhythm. So, but for others, it's not such a comfortable thing. So we just try to bring them in and kind of give them some guidance onto it. If you can, sit down with them, make them watch the tape afterwards and review the tape. What can we do improve on? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? A lot of times we just do it real time and you just move on. And then you don't really get back to it. And I feel most people like positive feedback or any feedback, really.
Yeah.
Even if it's not necessarily positive, there's like feedback. So if we give people feedback, allow them to see what they're doing. I get more out of my men that way, my people.
This episode is brought to you by Gigs, the professional career platform for the live event industry. So if you're looking for jobs in the live event space, or if you are hiring in this industry, go to gigs.live, become a professional, become an employer, start posting jobs and applying to jobs now. Join our community of tens of thousands of professionals in this industry. We have events around the country. We have employment opportunities. We have entertainment. We have education. So join Gigs today, gigs.live. Also, please go give us a 5-star review and follow us on our socials at gigs.live. Was there ever a time where it felt overwhelming, or did it always kind of feel like this is so what I'm supposed to? Yeah?
Often. Well, for me, a lot of times I don't have enough coverage. Recently, had 3 principals and a band of 12.
Jeez.
And so you're trying to cover the music and the principals, and some of the principals have their own solo projects along with their group efforts, and trying to give everyone equal screen time. Not always going to make everyone happy. That was very overwhelming sometimes. And all I could do is just kind of say, I know what I want out of this, what I'm trying to achieve, and try to get to that goal. Take a step back, organize and plan so you don't feel so stressed at the beginning. I tried to watch as much tape of their other work before to see what kind of style they may like, not necessarily to adopt it, but just to see, the pacing of their music. And then after that, just kind of choke it up and go.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's just what it is. I've had shows where we were shooting live, or we're shooting for a DVD. They brought in an extra 40 cameras to do the DVD, but I'm doing the screens.
Got it.
It's raining, and now someone moves a set cart over the deck while I'm underneath it. Water starts pouring right into my desk.
No.
What do? Am I going to panic? No, you just try to grab something and cover it, So I just grabbed something, cover it. I'm sitting there cutting where I could. Eventually, the board starts failing. Only certain buttons are working. I'm only able to cut between 2 cameras. Well, those are the 2 cameras I have now.
I wish I could hear comms when that was happening.
Well, it was like, Bubba, because Bubba's my engineer. Bubba, water's dripping on me. Bubba, water's dripping on me. Okay. And he gets a towel. He has a towel over me. And then I'm like, oh, Bubba, here's some gaff tape. He's gaff taping it up. Then just water starts pouring down into my T-bar. The whole desk turns red.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, well, guys, we're kind of fucked. I only have 2 cameras that seem to be working. So the rest of you just chill out. The guys that have live, you're going to be live the rest of the show. I apologize for that. But that's what it is. Good luck.
That's what it is. Yo.
Because if I panic, if I get anxious, that's just going to ripple effect, and it's going to make everyone have a bad day.
Wow.
What can I do about that? I can't fix anything. We could have been in a different place, but it is what it is. Now you just have to calm yourself down, make sure you're not projecting on anyone else. And yeah, it was fun. And it was like, I even had a first time camera operator that was one of the guys who was still live.
Shut up.
So it was like, okay, this is your first time ever on camera. And that's the one that stays live.
What artist was this for?
This was for Pink.
Yeah.
This was for Pink.
And that was the DVD. That was the show too.
Yeah. So, and no one noticed the thing.
Of course.
And it's like, how do you mean you didn't notice the thing? I only had 2 cameras.
You're like, you didn't even get to see my art, man.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
But it's fine. We made it work. And there was some times where it was just switching on its own. Luckily, it was like somewhat timely to the beat. Yeah. And I was like, okay, now I could just coach the handheld.
Yeah, right. Then you're directing.
Now I'm directing.
Yeah.
Everyone else is abandoned. Now it's just me and you. Okay. Whoa. What angles can you give me? Where can we move from here? She's going to move, the next part of the song. She's going to go here. So let's beat her there.
Yeah.
While we have this opportunity. And we got through it.
Damn, dude.
We got through it.
What do you do when you don't know the music and you're hopping in?
Just listen.
Okay.
You just got to listen. Luckily, I have like a musical bone in my body a bit. So, we all been to clubs and you can anticipate the drop or, that kind of feeling you get. Or you gotta count it out. Sometimes it's just 4-bar measures. And you're just, now I'll cut. Learn the pacing. If it's not learning the music, it's just like staying wide and capturing it, have a various few degrees of angles, a tight shot, a mid shot, and a wide shot. And then as long as you have that basic coverage, you can make it up.
But do you recommend cutting on
the beat?
The beat? Yeah. Or is it?
Depends on the show.
Yeah.
It depends on the show. It's those moments in between, those little breaths.
Ooh.
And sometimes, a lot of times it's just a little highlight. What you hear might need to be accented a little more. Maybe he's singing right then and there, but that little twang from when you heard the album that you really like to resonate with, go for that little guitar bit.
Yes.
And get right back to the vocal. A lot of times if you don't know the music, it's not going to be the case. But if you know the music, you're learning the music and you hear certain things, you're just like, all right, I want to emphasize that.
Yes.
And it's okay to break away from the standard 4-bar structure or whatever, if you're just highlighting, or like I said, if it's a detailed part of a choreography or something.
Oh yeah.
Then we're not going with a 4-bar structure or anything to the beat at all. We're just storytelling at this point.
Ooh.
And maybe it'll go back and forth between it, timely, beat, 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 slow it down. Let's change the pacing, walking with her here, walking with her there, beat, 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 beat. Varies from song to song even. You
get to have really a different, especially if it's choreographed, it might be kind of similar, but it feels like you get to really be creative. Like it's never the same night every night.
No, it's never.
That's cool.
Sometimes it can be with a very choreographed show. And now there are software programs that are helping us, like QPilot, where you can choreograph and write out a shot list for every person and allow it to run on time code and give each person their own cues of where they need to be so that you have that same show every night.
Wow.
It's wonderful technology. I've yet to be able to use it myself. I play with their free user.
Okay.
But I like it to be more free. I want to play with artists. It's the closest I get to be a musician without being a musician. I get to just play along. I play the cameras.
Did you ever do not live?
I've done music videos for friends.
Yes.
I've done action sport films. I have a lot of friends in the industry there as well. So hanging out outside of helicopters and shooting motocross stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's fun and adventure in it, I want to be involved.
Wow.
That time at Google was wonderful.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
It was extremely boring.
Oh.
I was putting people in boxes, lots of meetings. But it was the most technically challenged I was because it was very high stakes. You're speaking to all their clients, all of the world, and big money moves were happening. So, and this was during the time of COVID. So a lot of people were
pivot.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of going on and people are on high precaution, like very antsy about everything. So it's like good to be in a place where I know I'm cool and calm under pressure. These guys, they're in the corporate world. They're not really used to maybe public speaking or doing productions and stuff. So I was like, all right, well, just take a few breathers. It's going to be okay. We're going to have everything smooth for you. But like I said, it was putting people in boxes and lots of lectures.
Yeah.
It was great to hear about all the model learning and AI things before it was really implemented and kind of have a peek behind the curtain on certain things.
Interesting.
So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But it was early mornings, late nights, just like our industry, because we're talking to all parts of the world with Google.
Whoa.
And It was very high stakes. And say doing things for Sundar, their CEO.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Is who's one of the richest men in the world.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Doing private meetings where you see every presidential hopeful walk in. Wow. And you're like, well, okay.
This is a cool room to be in.
Yeah.
Bro.
All right.
Well, and I mean, I can imagine hiring someone like you who can solve problems really quickly, who knows how to hold yourself around people like that, and is okay with the kind of pressure like that. That's like the ideal person to hire, is someone from this industry.
Yeah. But then at the same time, we move in a faster pace and a little more cut and dry.
Yeah.
And also direct way where the corporate setting doesn't allow for that.
Yeah.
And also within the tech world, like they're more focused on failure. They want to stress test everything. They want to know what are the points of failure, where our industry, we don't really allow for
We
failure.
move on. Yeah.
We don't allow for it. We just don't allow for it. That's not an option. So within Google, it's like every time I would think we had a perfect show, they're like, well, no, you need to write reporting on what went wrong or what could be better. I'm like, well, what do you mean? What could be better? It was successful. Like,
yeah.
What is it? So there was always, testing you and making you be more critical about everything and just finding new ways to be better and push the envelope. So I thought that was really, good for me in that regard of just learning how to be forward thinking and always pushing forward, but also not having to be perfect.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect. It's not. But also, I found that to also be where like it got very hard for me, because it was like, I don't want to do all this reporting and thinking about and analyzing about what's wrong when it was right.
How do you analyze art?
It's a show,
show.
and a lot of times if there was an issue, it was just uncomfortability of maybe the presenter or the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the speakers.
A lot of times, no. We had to go back on a slide, and they're like, okay, well, can you write a 5-page report on why we had to go back a slide? And
ain't nobody got time for that.
that was the job. It's very much reporting and analyzing every aspect of it and documenting it so that we can stress test things and fix it. And
interesting. What was your first show back after corporate?
Show back? It was pink.
Let's
it was
go.
like good to come back home and get back there.
Did it feel refreshing?
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Back in music.
Yeah.
What is the role of the engineer?
The engineer is the guy who makes all the video work.
Okay.
He's the guy who is our main hub, our transmission hub, where our director's desk, every signal that's video related is sent out through that guy.
Got
and
it.
He is our IT department.
Who's an ideal person to go into that role?
Very much someone who is very detail oriented, hyper focused on all things technical. Because you're going to have to fix things. You're going to need to know how to solder. You're going to need to know how to read temperatures on everything, read various power voltage, because all the gears, everything's going to come to that person. A monitor signal, a LED wall, a fiber line that's going out to a projector.
Yep.
It's all coming from that guy. And then now we're dealing with scaling different images and making sure that they all play back in the right time. That's all going to be our engineer.
Wow.
So they're going to be a brainiac, pretty much. I always say the engineer is going to be probably the most brainiac, probably ADHD person you're going to have on the tour. But
really?
Yeah. We want those people because they thrive in this industry. They can hyper focus on something and sit there, and they're not usually never personable. They're just back there working, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
This is interesting.
They make it work.
They make it work and they solve the problems, and they're the ones that are putting like the effects on the video, right?
Well, no, they're just making the technical aspect of it work. So if there's any effects or stuff, that might be like a server operator.
Oh, what is that role?
So that role is taking all the different video elements as far as content and layers, and they're able to make that integrate with the actual show. Oh. So say, you have your lights and you want all of that to go at the same time with your video. You're going to have time code coming to your server operator. They're going to make sure that whatever pieces of content is attached to those files and that they run in time. And if it's something misfires, they can peel it back. Or if you're using certain effects over as a layer over the video images, like Notch. They're the ones that program into the server, which,
Got it.
you know, like I said, can't affect the timing of things and can create lag, which is what you need a good server up who knows how to dial all those things and knows when maybe we're putting too much effects on things. We need to dial it back so that the video can just play a little bit cleaner.
Damn, man.
Yeah. So there's so many layers within the video department that, you know,
Yeah.
we all have to play with each other, and
Yeah.
it's fun. I like it. It's very visual. It's techie, but it's also art. And that's what I like to do. I'm a creative. I like to do art, but I'm also, you know, a bit of a tech nerd, and I like to just be able to lend to both sides.
It seems like you found the gig, man.
Absolutely.
And your child self knew it as well.
Absolutely.
So do you just see that yourself doing this forever?
I would say for at least 5 more years.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a 20-year-old son, 18-year-old son, a 6-year-old and 4-year-old daughters. So I'm ready to slow it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready for my boys to take on my roles, and I want to do something a little bit slower pace in life.
Yeah. It's still involving
video to a certain degree until I open up my own skate park on an island somewhere.
Let's go. Done. That's where we'll film the next episode, is on your island.
Exactly.
At your skate park.
Where I want to host events as well. So I'll be an event manager at my skate park on an island.
What a freaking
Stay
dream. And I can't wait to see it. Would you have a name for it?
We'll talk about it later.
Dude, thank you so much for doing this. This is awesome getting to know you. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.